Hello, this is the Leaderpreneur and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this sling bag for men, which has become really popular these days. And as usual, I'll be making a simplified version of this so that you can make this on your own. This is a DIY channel, so every tutorial on this channel is purposely made to be simplified so that you can cut out patterns and make beautiful bags all by yourself. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button so you can get notified anytime new tutorials are uploaded. And at the end of this video, if you like this content, guys, support my channel by purchasing the PDF version of this pattern for the price of a copy. So with that being said, let's get right into the tutorial. So first, you'll be needing your steel rule, a pencil for temporary lines, a black pen for permanent lines, a cutting knife, and of course, your pattern making paper. First step is cutting out a pattern piece. Along this top edge, measure 3 centimeters and mark. Then from this 3 centimeters point, measure and mark 9 centimeters. Then repeat this mark on the bottom as well. From the left, mark 3 centimeters. Then from 3 centimeter points, measure and mark 9 centimeters. Then join opposite points together. Next, on the right side, measure from the top and mark at 17 centimeters. Then from this 17 centimeter point, measure and mark 6 centimeters. Now, on this middle mark here, not the first one, this second mark, we are going to draw a curve that measures 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters. And the curve is going to be on the inside here. So from this point, measure 2.5 centimeters. Mark. Along this vertical line from the top, measure and mark 2.5 centimeters as well. So we're using a round object, the diameter that measures 5 centimeters to draw out this curve. Next, along this middle line again, measure from the top and mark 14 centimeters. There. Then join this new point to this second mark here. We have 2 marks on this side. This is the first one, this is the second one. So we're joining this second one to this 14 centimeter point here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is join this point at the bottom of this curve to this first point here. But it's not going to be a straight line, it is going to be a curve line. And for that, I'll be using my French curve. So I'm just going to keep adjusting this until one point of the French curve touches this mark and the other point touches this other mark here. I'll just join both points together now. The next thing we'll do is measure along this noodle line once again and mark 8 centimeters. Then on this left side, measure from the top and mark 12 centimeters. After marking, we'll be joining these 2 points together. But this is how we are going to do that, so watch carefully. When you place your ruler and you have both marks aligned for a straight line, make sure that your ruler extends into this curved area here, because we need the line to cut across this curved line we made earlier. So with 2 points along a parallel line, just draw and extend the line to cross this curve. Now after this, we're going to draw out 2 more lines, and here are the 2 lines. The first line starts from this middle point here, where we marked at 8 centimeters earlier. So it starts from here and ends at bottom here. So I'm going to rule that line with my pen. Then second line will be ruling, starts from this first point here and stops on this line here. Yeah, so this is what we need. Now this line here and this line here, they are made with pencil, so I'll just clean them off right now. So the next thing we'll do is cut out these pattern pieces. From this sheet only, we're going to cut out 5 pattern pieces. And this side is of no use. So I'll be cutting along the lines only. Let's start with A. A is this area that goes like this. I'm going to cut that out first. This is A. I will have one piece here. So we'll come back to this later. So I have A and I will label this as A. For this piece, I need one fabric pot. So this is all for pattern A, and I'm setting this aside. Then there is what we have next, and we'll proceed to B. This piece here is B. So when you cut along this middle line, you're going to have your B piece. I'm going to label this as B. And for this, we'll be needing one fabric cut and two lining cuts. Now this part is a pocket, so I'll be needing a zipper tape that measures 22 centimeters. And this is all for the pattern piece labeled B. Now this is what is remaining from our large pattern piece. And we need to cut out the piece labeled C. This piece right here in the middle is the piece labeled C, so I'll cut it out right now. So remember I said we don't need this side of the pattern, so I'm going to discard this. Now back to the piece labeled C. Just make sure it is upright like this before labeling. So I'll label this as C. And for this, I need just one fabric pot. This is all for pattern C, and I'll set this aside as well. Then we'll have this piece here, and it is our piece that will be labeled as D. And for this, we'll be needing one fabric cut and two lining cuts. This piece is also a pocket, so we'll be needing a zipper that measures 16 centimeters or 6.5 inches. And this is all for the pattern labeled D. Now I'll bring back this pattern piece I set aside earlier, and from this we'll cut out our zip end tabs. So for zip end tab, you need a cut that measures 6 centimeters by 3 centimeters. So the width of this is already 3 centimeters, but the length of it is longer than 6 centimeters. So I'll just cut out 6 centimeters from this. So you can measure and mark and cut along this line. So this slanted part is of no use, and I'll discard this. Now this is our zip end tab. I will label this as E. We'll be needing 6 fabric cuts for this. This is all for pattern E, and I'll set this aside. Next, cut out a pattern piece that measures 24 centimeters by 30 centimeters. This is our final pattern piece, and it's for the back panel. You'll notice that these initial pieces, there is no differentiation of what panel it is, because all of these pieces A to E are for the front panel. This last piece, which will be piece F, is the only piece that is for the back panel. So to cut out this pattern, measure from the top and mark 9 centimeters from left to right. Then do the same at the bottom, measure and mark 9 centimeters. Then join both points together. Then on this corner, like we did for our first pattern piece, measure and draw out a curve that's not just 2.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters. Then draw out the curve using the same round object we used earlier. Then on the right side of this pattern piece, measure from the top and mark 17 centimeters. So we'll be joining this mark with this mark on the middle line here. I'll be joining the points using our French curve. So position your French curve, then draw out the curve. But just before drawing out the curve, we need to make sure that the curve on the front panel is the same to the curve on the back panel. So to ensure the accuracy of that, you can use this as a guide to position the French curve. So just place this on the left side where it matches. So as you can see, it already gives the hint of how the curve starts. So position the French curve so that the top of it lines along the edge of this A piece and the bottom of it touches this mark point here. So you can remove this piece and draw out the curve. Then finally, we draw out very small curves along the right and left bottom corners of this piece. And the curve needs to be really just a very small curve. So I'll be using this round object. It is a cover of a permanent marker. So I'm going to use it to draw the curves on the corner. Now this is all for all the marks we need to make. So we'll go ahead and trim along this curved line here and along the curves only. For this piece, we'll label it as F. And for this, we need one fabric cut and 2 lining cuts. And for the main zipper, we need to cut out a zipper tape that measures 24 centimeters or 9.5 inches. Then for the long strap, you need to cut out 130 centimeters or 51 inches. Now, this is all for our pattern pieces, but it is very, very important to watch through the next steps on how I cut out the fabric, as there are some very important things to note when cutting out and stitching up this sling bag. Now we have the pattern set. I'll briefly show you how to cut out your fabric, cut out your lining, and assemble with this sling bag so you can make this perfectly. So before we start making the bag, I'll explain a few things you need to note when cutting out the fabric using your pattern. So normally we trace out the pattern on the wrong side of the fabric, right? So that the pen mark will remain on the wrong side, not on the right side. So when cutting out the exterior fabric for this piece labeled A, place your fabric wrong side up like you always do. Then flip this pattern to the wrong side, then cut out a single piece. The next pattern is the one labeled B. And just like we did for A, set your exterior fabric wrong side up, then the pattern piece flip to the wrong side, then cut out one exterior fabric piece this way. For the interior lining, cut out 2 mirrored pieces. Cut out one piece with the pattern right side up, then flip the pattern to cut out the other lining piece. For pattern label C, it is just one exterior fabric cut. So like we did for A and B, we are tracing out on the wrong side of the exterior fabric. I will need to flip the pattern piece to the wrong side, cut out one piece of it. Now for this piece labeled D, the exterior fabric, place it wrong side up, trace out on the wrong side, and make sure that you clip the pattern the wrong side as well before tracing out. For the lining, you're going to cut out 2 mirrored pieces. So here and here. This is one, and when the pattern is flipped, you have the second cut. Then for the piece labeled E, you need just 6 fabric cuts. And for this last piece labeled F, for this piece, once you have your exterior fabric laid wrong side up where you can trace, then just place the pattern directly on it like this. So the pattern is placed right side up and you do not need to flip this to the wrong side. So this is how you cut the fabric piece labeled F. Now for the lining for pattern F, we have to cut out 2 lining pieces and both pieces have to be mirrored. Place like this, trace and cut out. Then for the second piece, just flip the pattern, then trace and cut out. This way you have 2 mirrored pieces for the interior lining for the pattern labeled as F. So we'll start with the zippers, and we need to attach the zip end tabs to both sides of each of these zippers. So we have 3 pieces which I cut out using the information written on the pattern. I already explained this earlier when cutting out the pattern. Then for each piece, take one of the zip end tabs and place right sides together like this and make sure the edges align. Then stitch this together. After stitching, flip the fabric to the right side, then turn this to the wrong side and fold over the fabric again to cover the wrong side of the zipper. Make sure it is firm on the edge, then add a top stitch along this folded edge. And here it is after top stitching. After this, trim off the rest of the fabric. Then repeat this step for the rest of the edges. So we'll be starting with these B pieces and we'll be adding middle notches to this long side here, then long side on the lining. Then we'll bring over this zipper piece that measures 22 centimeters and we'll add a middle notch as well. Next, place this zipper piece on the exterior fabric piece and place them right sides together. Align the notch, then join both pieces along this edge. After joining, bring over the lining piece and place it right sides together with this exterior fabric piece. Align the notch, then join this piece along this edge as well. Next step is to turn this out to the right side. Then bring over this second lining piece. Lay it out right side up. Then place this fabric piece over it. The lining sides to the lining of this. Align the notches. Then join both pieces along this edge. One very important thing to note when installing this zipper is that it should be installed in the zipper pull zipping upwards like this. Our next step is to flip this to the wrong side. Then on this exterior fabric piece, measure from the edge and mark 3 centimeters. Then on this other side, measure and mark 3 centimeters. Add notches to these mark points. Then turn this over to the right side once again. Fold on these notches. After folding, fold the zip over. After folding, this is what you achieve. Then hold this together with clips. Then finally for this pocket, stitch along the edge right from the slanted top here down to the long side and this bottom side. After stitching, trim down the lining piece. And this is all for this first pocket. Now to making the second zipper pocket on the front panel, using the pieces from the pattern label D and the zipper tape that measures 16 centimeters. So on this exterior fabric piece, measure from the right side here and mark at 1 centimeter. So we're placing the zipper right sides together with this. And before placing the zipper, make sure that it is zipping upwards to the left. Then just flip it over and align the right end of it to this mark point here. Then join both pieces together. After joining, bring over one of the lining pieces. So line both edges together. Make sure it is even. Then join both pieces together. Then next, turn this over to the right side. And we'll be joining the second lining piece next. So lay this right side up and match the sides of this exterior piece to the lining piece. So just make sure that the sides are even here. Make sure it is even with this. And here, make sure it is even with this. Then push this down a bit so that the zipper edge can line up with the edge of the fabric. Then join this zipper to the lining piece. Next, bring over this exterior fabric piece cut off from pattern labeled C. Then we need to join this piece to this zipper pocket here. Before joining this, lay it out right side up. On this right corner here, measure and mark 3 centimeters. Then on this marked point, add a very small notch. Now bring over this zipper piece and place both of these pieces right sides together. So I'll be flipping this over, and on this part where I added the notch, the zipper end tab here will start from that point. Then you can just clip this and join along this slanted edge. Next, flip this upper fabric over to the right side. Then add a top stitch along the folded edge. After adding the top stitch, flip this over to the wrong side. Then fold away the lining. From this top edge here, measure and mark 3 centimeters. And from top of this other side here, measure and mark 3 centimeters as well. Then on this marked points, add a notch. After adding the notch, flip this back to the right side. Then fold on these notches. Press down the fold so that it lays flat. And once you do this, you will notice that the edges of both pieces are now even. They are the lining piece so that it is under this bottom fabric. They stitch along this right edge, then the bottom, then the left edge. So you just trim down this edge that comes out here, then this side here, and the bottom lining, so that we can have an even edge all around. And this is all for the second front pocket. The next one we'll be doing is joining both of these pocket pieces together. So to join both of these pieces together, the first thing we need to do is fold away this top part here. I'll be placing both of these pieces right sides together. So once you match this up, we need to stitch both of these pieces together, and I'll be stitching on this bottom side up. So to make it easier, just flip this over so that we can start stitching from the bottom here. I will stitch all the way down. Now once you turn this to the right side, fold this in so that it lays on this larger piece here. So fold it down like this. Turn this over, flip to the right side, then add the top stitch along this folded edge. Now this is what it looks like after top stitching. You can now fold this over once again. So we have one pocket here and the other pocket here. Now what you need to do next is join this upper piece. You can use your pattern to confirm that it is upright like this. So I'm going to place both pieces right sides together like this. Align the edges. Then stitch together using a seam allowance of 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. After joining, flip the fabric over to the right side. Then add a top stitch on the folded edge. Here we see once we are done stitching, and we are done with the front part of the sling bar. Next step is to join the back panel and finish up with the strap. So before we go ahead to join both of these panel pieces together, we need to trim down this front panel piece so that it matches the back panel. So what we'll do is place both of these pieces right sides together. Make sure that this top part where the curve is at the top, make sure it matches and it aligns perfectly. Now for the rest of the parts, what you need to do is trim off whatever is left outside the edges of this back panel piece. Now after trimming, we now have two opposite pieces that are similar in size. And next thing we need to do is join the main zipper. And that's where we need this zipper piece that measures 24 centimeters. So to join the zipper to this one final piece, measure from the right end here and mark at 1 centimeter. Then break over the zipper and place both of these pieces right sides together, but the edge of the zipper starts from the mark point here. Then join both pieces together. You have to be very mindful when stitching the zipper because you are stitching along a cog at this point at the top here and along this main cog here. So after sketching, bring over one of the lining pieces and place it right sides together with this piece. Then stitch the lining to the zipper, but you need to start from the point where the zipper starts here. Start from here, then stop at the end here. It was easier for me to stitch with the lining piece under and the extra fabric piece at the top like this. So after stitching, fold this out to the right side. Make sure the fabric from the seam allowance is folded underneath the exterior fabric piece. Then add the top stitch to the exterior fabric piece only. We'll be stitching along the folded edge. Just make sure you are mindful of the curved areas here and along this main side. So start stitching from this point where the zipper starts, then down to the end of the fabric here. Start stitching, leave this underneath the new fabric piece. Now we need to join the second back panel piece to this. So bring this over, place it right side up. Then from this end, measure and mark 1 centimeter. Then placing both of these pieces right sides together. Then match the end of this zipper tab to the point where I marked. After lining it, stitch both pieces together. After stitching, bring over the second lining piece. Then flip this over so that you have the side where the lining is facing up. After that, place this lining piece over. And at this point, see having the right size of the lining pieces together. Then align the edge of the lining to the edge of this zipper piece we just joined. Then stitch from this edge here only up to the point where the zipper ends. After joining this, flip this over so that we have the exterior fabric side at the top. Then turn the exterior fabric over to the right side. So we have this right side up. Add a top stitch along this folded edge of the back panel. Now after this top stitch on the back panel, position both of these exterior fabric pieces right sides together. Then go over to the lining side, place both pieces right sides together as well. Now we need to make final stitches all around the exterior fabric and the lining pieces. But before we do that, we need to fix the shoulder strap. And we're fixing it at this right side here and at the top here. So to fix the strap, we need the slider and the buckle. So from the full length of the belt indicated on the pattern, cut out a short strap that measures around 10 centimeters. Then unbuckles this clip and pass the short strap through the loop of this one. And we'll be setting this at the top here. So from this top left corner, measure and mark 1 centimeter. Place the strap already folded. Place it after the mark point. Then just stitch along the edge. The next thing to do is fix the slider on one end of the remaining strap. Pass one end of it through the loop of the adjuster. Leave about 4 centimeter tail. Then fold in the raw end. and stitch this in place. When stitching, you can go back and forth a few times to reinforce the stitch. Now after stitching, pass the other empty end of the strap through the loop of the second part of the buckle. Make sure that the wrong side of the strap, which is the side that is folded, make sure it is facing up. Then lay it flat like this. Then trace down the strap till you get to the end. Then pass this through the buckle, or you passing it through. Now this is the right side of the buckle and this is the wrong side of it. So make sure the right side is up, and you pass through the second loop first, then come out through the first one. Second one first, then back through the first hole. So you have this. Then drag the strap back towards the slider and pass the end of the strap once again through the slider. Then you can now clip the buckle back, but make sure that you're clipping it wrong side up. So make sure the strap is wrong side up like this. Then trace down. We need to join this end of the strap to this bottom corner here. From the bottom up, mark 2 centimeters. Then place the end of the strap just at the top of the marked point. Stitch this together. And the next thing we need to do is just fold this in. Fold this back over. So we still have this together from earlier. Stitch the exterior fabric first. So we'll start from here down to this corner, then down to this side, then up to this side where the lining meets the exterior fabric. Now we have the lining piece left. So unclip this, then open up the zipper, the main zipper, open it up, then continue with the lining. So in the middle of this, just measure around 15 centimeters. So when stitching from here, we're going to stop at this first point, then start again from here and finish up at this point. So after stitching, you need to turn this out to the right side. Now once you have this turned out to the right side, you need to turn it inside out once again. But this time around, lining will be on the outside. So just turn it out again. So once you have this flat out, fold in the edges of the lining. Then we'll give this a final stitch all around like this. While stitching, make sure you're catching the exterior fabric underneath this fold, and make sure you use a thread that matches the color of the interior lining. Once you are done with that, you are done with making a sling bag. So you can turn this back to the right side